fear of death, and human psychology. The thought of death is one of the deepest fears of human beings. This fear exists sometimes consciously and sometimes subconsciously. Since death is a certain and irreversible situation, it is full of uncertainty. This uncertainty is one of the biggest factors that feed fear. However, the fear of death is also closely related to how a person directs his or her life. Some people suppress this fear and prefer not to think about it at all, while others are aware of this reality and want to live every moment more fully. How does the reality of death give meaning to life? The existence of death is a factor that makes life more precious. If we had an eternal life, nothing would have meaning. The moments we love, our achievements, our happiness, even our sadness are precious because they are temporary. Let's think about this with an example. Let's say you have a cup of coffee and you can drink it forever. Then the taste, the smell, or the pleasure of that coffee would lose its meaning. But knowing that the coffee will end one day increases the value of every sip. Life is like that. Death makes us realize the value of time. Because we know that one day we will leave this world, we hug our loved ones more, try to collect memories, and try to experience the beauties of life. Accepting our mortality, a liberation. When we accept our mortality, we actually gain a great freedom. Because when we realize that we cannot escape death, we realize that we should not postpone life. Most people put off things they want to do, thinking that they will do them one day. But that someday may never come. So death awareness helps us to prioritize our lives. It frees us from being trapped in jobs, relationships, or environments that do not make us happy. It allows us to live a more meaningful, sincere, and free life. After death, uncertainty and faith. What death means is not only a philosophical issue, but also a religious and spiritual question. In many belief systems, death is not an end, but a transition to another form of existence. Some believe in reincarnation, others in heaven and hell, others that there is nothing after death. But the common point is this: human beings try to make sense of the unknown after death, because uncertainty gives people uneasiness. But perhaps the right thing to do is to focus on life, instead of looking for definitive answers about what death is. Because living life well and to the fullest allows us to leave a beautiful mark, no matter what happens after death. Living despite death. Before his execution, Socrates said these meaningful words to his students: "He who fears death fears something he does not know." Perhaps death is a much more beautiful beginning for the soul. This saying does not mean that we should not fear death, but that we should accept its naturalness. Because death, like birth, is an integral part of life. Accepting the reality of death is a reason to hold on to life. It is a motivation to value our loved ones more, not to postpone our dreams, to explore and experience more. Perhaps because the meaning of life is limited to death. Because when something has a limited duration, its value increases. We are guests in this world for a short time. Therefore, we should make the most of this guesthood and live it to the fullest by loving, learning, and sharing. In conclusion, although death may seem like the end of life, it is actually the greatest element that gives it meaning. Without death, perhaps we would not be able to appreciate anything. Therefore, instead of fearing death, seeing it as a reminder is an opportunity to truly live life. Because the real issue is not how long we live, but how we live.